What's up, boys and girls? It's your boy Johnny, aka Crew9t, and I am freezing. I live in Orlando, Florida. It's supposed to be sunny. It's 43 degrees right now. I don't even know what the hell is going on with my state. That's actually why I'm 10 minutes late going live, because I walked outside and said, nope, and walked back in and changed my from shorts to sweatpants, and had to put on a jacket and had to bundle up, because this is how Floridians dress when it gets below 60 degrees. This is 40-degree weather right now, but either way. Look, you can literally see the steam coming off my coffee. I don't know what Florida was thinking, but it needs to warm up again, because this is crazy. So, anyways, got two people with me right now, growing a little bit. So, anyways, oh, let me turn that on. But yeah, a week ago, it was like high 80s, low 90s, and now all of a sudden, Florida wants to make us freeze our nipples off. So I don't know. I don't think my state can make up its mind. We weren't participating in fall. Now suddenly we're doing an early winter. I don't know. So, anyways. So, I managed to get my Christmas decorations up finally. Some of them, not all of them. It's actually in the yard right in front of me, but I put up like 6 inflatables. I got a snowman, a unicorn, I don't know, Santa, a gingerbread man, a penguin, a little Christmas elephant. So all that's up, plus then some lights around my little retaining wall. I got to do the roof still, but I've been a little uh, procrastinating when it comes to getting up on the roof. You know, the whole walking around up there with one leg, not necessarily the highlight of my week, but we're gonna get the Christmas lights up soon. Um, it is cold now, so I guess we're getting into the Christmas spirit, so I should probably do it before it warms back up again and we're all back to bah humbug. But anyways, oh man. My neighbor has been getting work done on her house for the last month, and the construction people have been here every day with, I think they were even actually here partially on Thanksgiving, and they've gotten to the point that they recognize us and all the other neighbors, and we recognize them, and they don't park in front of our mailboxes or anything anymore because they've been here like every day. Um, he's looking at me now. He's probably wondering what the hell I'm doing out here. He's freezing cold, you can tell. He's bundled up. He is dressed how I used to dress when I lived in New York. And he's looking at me. I'm literally just wearing a hoodie and some sweatpants. He's like, he just waved at me like, and he went like this. He's wondering what the hell I'm doing out here. I don't know what I'm doing out here. I have no idea why I chose to sit outside for this. Anyways. He looks like an Eskimo. At least he's warm though. Oh man. DKM Gaming, hi. How are you doing this morning? Well, I don't know where you are, so it might not be morning for you, but how are you doing? Let's see. Let's adjust. I should have turned my porch light off. I just walked right out the door. Didn't even think about it. Ugh. Man. There's a school bus stop right by the stop sign by the front of my street. And a lot of kids are out there right now, and they're all just sitting around. Normally they run like crazy and they're all playing in the street, but they're all just sitting there. I think they're cold. I mean, it's understandable. Although if I was cold, I would be running around because that's how you warm up. But whatever. I remember when I was a kid and it would be cold and I had to wait for the bus. I always hated when I saw the bus come because that meant that, like, yep, here comes the bus taking me to school, and it would like be this feeling in my stomach. I had to basically like dig your own grave. Like, you have to literally walk up the steps and sit down on the bus that's going to take you to school. So I would hate it. But whenever it was cold, you would just wait for that bus. It was like you couldn't wait to see the big yellow, the top of the bus. The way that my neighborhood was kind of like on a hill, you would see the top of the bus just coming over the break where the road kind of came up. You would wait to see that big yellow roof of the bus, and then like you would be, where is it, because that of course would be the day that the bus would never be on time, the one day you want the bus to arrive. And then once you got on the bus and it was a little warmer, you would immediately regret having wished that the bus would arrive, and you'd be like, nah, I'd rather be cold and still outside. There was actually a time where my bus didn't show up. Well, it did, but it was like 25 to 30 minutes late, and I remember a couple kids actually walked back to their house because they didn't think the bus was coming. None of us thought the bus was coming, but like for me, like my mom and dad were already gone to work. I knew there was no point in walking home because I wasn't going to be able to get in. I was too young to have like my own key because I would ride the bus to school, but then my parents, one of them would pick me up from school. Merry Christmas. It's feeling like Christmas finally. But a couple kids went back home. The rest of us were just kind of sitting there, and the bus finally arrived. And then we were one of the first stops. So the bus was like 30 minutes late. I kid you not, this thing flew like so much over the speed limit through the neighborhoods and everything. Somehow managed to get us to school only like 5 minutes late. And even then, when we walked in, there was 3 kids in my own class that rode my bus. We all were in the same neighborhood. And the teacher was like, why are you guys late? We all said the same thing, like, we're all walking in together. Our bus was late. And the teacher didn't believe us. The teacher thought we were playing around outside. So we had to go to the office. And then it wasn't the principal. I don't remember what they called her. But it was like, she was like the dean, if they had that in elementary school. But she like handled everything that the principal didn't need to handle. He only had to handle the big stuff. But either way, we had to go see the dean or whatever and get a note from the dean that our bus was late. Except the dean didn't believe us. How does the dean of the students not even know what's going on with her bus drivers? Like, how does she not aware that the bus was late? But she didn't believe us either, and so she had to actually contact the bus driver through whatever dispatch company or whatever, and we were in the office for like 30 minutes before we finally got released back to our room with a note saying that the bus was late. And that was just us. There was other kids on the bus. I'm surprised, like, did every kid have to go through that, or were the other teachers just not as skeptical? But either way, we ended up going from being 5 minutes late and like missing the pledge to missing like pretty much all of the morning announcements and everything, just because the teacher didn't believe that we were late because of the bus. No, we were obviously playing outside in the hallway. Like, did you hear us outside? But if I remember correctly, that was towards the end of the school year, so the teacher was probably just over it, over us. We were all a bunch of little snots. I got my first detention in like 2nd grade. Actually, that was pretty bad, little 7, 8-year-old kid. I shouldn't even talk. I was the kid that would put like a wet wad of paper towel on the teacher's chair, thinking that the teacher wouldn't see it. Leonardo Gamer, what's up? How are you doing? Look, you can see my breath. Wait. Oh, you can't see it on the video. Anyway, I'd put a wet wad of paper towel on the teacher's chair, thinking the teacher would sit down on it. Of course, like, how you not gonna see a big wad of paper towel? Teacher would never sit on it. I did it like 2 or 3 times too. You would think I would get more creative. Um, we used to. Oh, I remember one time. I don't know where he got it from. Where does a kid buy things? Obviously, his parents had to buy it for him. What were they thinking? But somebody got trick chalk, and it was regular. It looked like regular chalk. SS Hunter. Oh my gosh, what's up, SS Hunter? Um, the teacher used it. He put a piece of the regular chalk, well, the fake chalk with the regular chalk. The teacher used it, and what it was it wouldn't erase. Like, you had to use water. So she wrote like all of whatever you write. I make myself Thanksgiving. Hello, thanks Christmas giving. Yes, that's true. Hello, thanks Christmas giving New Year. But she wrote whatever you're writing on the board. This was like in the 2nd grade, I think. Actually, it may have been 3rd grade, but this was still that same period. So whatever a 2nd or 3rd grade teacher would be putting on the board, probably like, I don't even remember what we learned all the way back then, but stupid stuff on the board. Goes to erase it, can't erase it. Whole class is cracking up, but only like a few of us knew what the hell was going on, and we were cracking up even harder. Teacher was getting frustrated, but didn't realize that he had been pranked yet. And oh my gosh, yeah, he was like getting mad. You could tell he was getting frustrated, but didn't want to get frustrated in front of a bunch of students. And he finally went to the bathroom. Like, the way our school was set up, every classroom had, like, there was 2 classrooms, and then in the middle of them, in the back, was a joint bathroom that each classroom could get to. Then you'd have another 2 classrooms and then a joint bathroom. And I remember he went into the bathroom, and the teacher from the other class just happened to be in that little joint area, and I could hear him talking to her, and she was the one that told him it was probably trick chalk. And he was like, where would they get trick chalk from? And he came out and he's like, which one of you put trick chalk up here? And that's what it was, of course. And we were all cracking up. But then, like, he got mad. And he was, like, legit asking, like, which ones of you did this? Nobody would answer. And, of course, it wasn't me, but I had my hands in it somehow. I knew who it was, and I was aware of what was going on. Because that's just the 8-year-old that I was. What else did we do? I got I got sent home with a note in the 3rd grade because there was a wrestler. Of course, I'm not gonna remember his name, but he used to do like this maneuver like that, and on your crotch, and he would do it on TV. Like, I mean, if it's bad, they're not gonna put it on TV, right? SS Hunter, my birthday is May 8th, so I'm about halfway there. Actually, yeah, I'm just about halfway there. I'm getting older. Yep, I got a summer birthday. Well, anyways, we would watch this at like 6 in the afternoon, like 6 o'clock in the evening. Like, it wasn't on late. Wrestling was on like when all the kids were awake, and we would watch it. So we didn't know it was bad. We thought it was like a taunting move. Either way, we were all messing around on the playground. And this kid, Ian Good, who actually has passed away, but not while we were kids. He just passed away within the last couple years. But if you ever have anything wrong with your body, go to the doctors. He had something going on with his hand. It was like looked like an infection. His hand, like his arm, something like that, and he wouldn't get it looked at, and like a week or 2 went by. Finally, his girlfriend told him, you need to go to the hospital. He went to the hospital, and it turned out he had a severe bacterial infection inside of his system. It was blood infection. He had gone oh, I can't think of the word. He'd gone septic. He literally died the next day in the hospital. He wasn't even in the hospital for a full 24 hours. Get yourselves looked at. Your health is the most important thing over anything. He didn't want to bother people by going to the hospital, and now he has passed away. So, but either way, we were all running around there. This kid, Rodney, that I was friends with, I've been friends with him since second grade. Still talk, but not as much as we used to. Um, he actually comments on my Facebook, Crew9t on Facebook. But him and Ian and several of us, we were all wrestling in the playground, and then I did that maneuver and that hand gesture, and a teacher saw it, and I got sent home. I didn't end up getting in any trouble by my parents though, because I explained very honestly I had no idea what it meant. I didn't know it was a bad thing. I saw it. I just figured it was just like a wrestling move. I didn't know it was bad. Well, my parents believed me, and it was the truth. Even now, I'll say it was the truth. But my teachers didn't look at me the same for a while. I don't think that they believed me. What's this say? Haley Loveday. I'm at work, sucks, I can't really watch, have a good day. Oh, well, thank you for tuning in, Haley. Tell your boss that you're taking a personal break and you're gonna watch your phone, and tell him to subscribe. And why did he die? Oh, that was about Ian. Yeah, okay, so I already said why he died. I was like, why did he die? Are you talking about Crew9t? Everybody always assumes I'm dead. They watch my 911 call, and then they're like, oh, may he rest in peace, and I'll just comment, and I'll be like, yeah, the funeral was lit, though. There was strippers. Sometimes people pick up on it, and they're like, oh my gosh, it's really you, ha ha ha. Other times they're like, really? There were strippers at the funeral? Oh my gosh, what does his family think? I'd be like, who do you think ordered it? Little old Nana. That's actually become one of my favorite hobbies, like no joke. I get not only great pleasure, but I probably get more pleasure than I should out of responding to comments from people that say, did he die? Is he dead? Did he make it? I love saying that I died. That's just a great pleasure of mine. And they like never pick up on it right away either. They'll be like, did he die? And I'll be like, yes, tragically, but not from this. He died from a whaling accident about 2 years later. And they'll be like, what, really? Or I'll be like, oh, did he make it? And I'll be like, yes, he did make it, but only with minutes to spare. His reservation was at 8 and he walked in the door of the Chili's at 7:57. And then they'll be like, what the hell are you talking about? This isn't funny. Don't joke. Somebody's life was on the line. And I'll be like, yeah, I know. He could have starved to death. They would have given his reservation away. Then they'll get mad at me for making light of poor Crew9t. And then they realize, oh shit, it's Crew9t. It's, there's one girl that legit thinks that I had strippers at my funeral. Like legit. People still comment on her comment to this day. I still get the notifications. And thankfully, they are all amazing. Nobody tells her the truth. They all just play along. Like she said, oh, I'm so sorry that he died. He seemed like a really sweet guy. Why do good things happen to bad people? Or something like that. And I was like, hey, don't feel too bad for him. His funeral was lit. He had strippers, Irish dancers doing a can-can. I don't remember. I went into all these things. I said, trust me, I'm not lying. I was there. Figured that would give it off, that I was just messing around. She comments, well, at least he went out. Sounds like he was a cool guy. At least he went out with a bang. Wish I knew him in person so I could have gone to that funeral. I love funerals that are a celebration of life rather than mourning. Da 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 da. I commented back and I was like, oh yeah, we celebrated the hell out of it. That funeral lasted for a week. We made it into like a mini Mardi Gras. She goes, wow, sounds like he had some good friends then who really cared about him and wanted to give him one last final hurrah. Totally couldn't tell if she was being sarcastic and like playing along, or she like legitimately believed me. But then people kept commenting it after that, like, yeah, I was at the funeral too. The 21 gun salute was awesome. Somebody else commented and they're like, yeah, he had an F-16 do a flyover, and they dropped pamphlets of the local hookers. And this girl actually commented back and she's like, oh my gosh, how did they organize all that? I hope somebody cares about me enough to organize stuff like that for my funeral. Yeah, that was like a year ago. There are still comments that come in occasionally and nobody has informed her like, yo, you're an idiot. If you're watching this, sorry, you're not an idiot. but nobody has informed her, and she still thinks that I had like strippers and hooker advertisements and like a flyover. I think we said there was pizzas delivered. Um, like, dude, this girl legit thing. For real. When I do die, that's what I want. That's straight up. That's what I want. What did we say here? How's your leg? Um, I mean, it's cold right now. Actually, for real, it's cold right now, which, like, obviously, but that actually is a big deal. We were talking about this in my last live video. Whenever it gets cold outside, my leg acts differently. Like, I wear prosthetic socks to kind of increase the, I don't know what the word is. It just makes my leg fatter, so it fits inside my socket better. So I put on different socks depending on, because like they're not your prosthetic, but your actual your limb, your flesh and blood limb, will shrink and expand, like just throughout the day, very like minutely, but it will shrink and expand. Some days it's just swollen, no reason. Other days it can be really like tight and constricted. So you wear prosthetic socks to make up the difference in your leg so that you can fit into your socket. So usually I start my day off with 8-ply, and so that's normally for me. I'll wear a 5-ply sock and then a 3-ply sock. So I just have 2 socks on. When it gets cold, I don't know what is going on, but I end up having to put on like 13-ply just to fit in my socket. And then as I warm up, I have to start taking them off, which is a pain in the butt. Otherwise, I get too tight inside my socket and it actually gets a little uncomfortable. But, so yeah, my leg is cold. But on a serious note, my leg is cold. Oh man. So, let's see. I redeemed myself in late elementary school by the neighbor kid came out. He's a cool little kid. He's like 5, 6 maybe, I don't know. He's probably like 5. He always rides his bike in the cul-de-sac and stuff, and he's invite him over. He's looking at me right now. They got school. They're getting in their car right now to go to school. But yeah, he always like rides his bike like super fast, and he pretends he's like not a fire truck or a cop. He pretends he's an ambulance, and he rides his little like tricycle thing all around in circles as fast as he can in the cul-de-sac over and over and over. And I'm like, bro, you're gonna get dizzy and you're gonna fall over, and then you're gonna need a real ambulance. But he's a cool kid. But I can hear him right now. He just came out of his house going wow, 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 like an ambulance. Like, okay, I think he's gonna grow up to be a paramedic. SS Hunter, almost got my leg amputated 2 years ago. It was a close call. I feel you. What happened? I want to know. Like, industrial accident, but I was just gonna say, like, in an accident, or was it medical? You know, I was surprised at how many people, like, just lose their limbs. Like, growing up, that was never a concern for me. Like, my uncle lost his leg and arm as well, part of his arm. I was like 13, 14 maybe, but you know, he was in a motorcycle accident. It wasn't even his fault. He was riding in a pack. I don't remember how many bikes, but like a good amount, a substantial amount of bikes, like 15 or 20 of them. And a drunk driver in a semi-truck, of all things, like just went, right? He like drifted from his lane into their lane and just right across, wiped out all the bikes. A couple people that were riding kind of hanging back saw what happened and just like held back, and a couple people towards the front saw what was about to happen and sped up, but everyone in the middle, just some people died instantly, other people lost their arms, other people lost their legs, other people like my uncle lost both arm and a leg. Dude's in jail right now, like still like 15 years later he's in jail. But that was like the only person I ever knew that lost a limb, and I was just like, oh, I became an amputee. Not even joking, like everybody that I can't believe how many people I go to Walmart and I can spot them now. And it's like when you're driving a red pickup truck, you suddenly start noticing all the other red pickup trucks. Well, like, legitimately, I don't think I ever really noticed people walking around with prosthetics. Now we go to Walmart, and I'm like, he's got a fake leg, he's got a fake leg, he's got a fake leg. And of course, I always have to walk up to them and talk to them. And if I don't, then they always end up walking up to me and talking to me. And in the beginning, it was always weird. I was like, why are you talking to me? Just because we're both missing legs? But now I'm like, why are you not talking to me? Come over here, talk to me. But and then they do. But yeah, there's so many people. And I'm always shocked at how many people also, I get comments like, oh, I almost lost my leg, or almost lost my arm, I almost lost this or that, or they were able to reattach. Let's see, I was riding the bike and the motor was uncovered. These chain like ropes got close to my leg and cut through the flesh all the way. Whew, see, that's pretty gruesome. See, so you got a story. We all got stories, but like you got a story. Blaze, 6:15 a.m. and I'm watching this because I love this channel so much. Oh, well, thank you. That's very nice of you. 6:15. So where are you? 6:15 a.m. So that means you're somewhere in the United States. You're probably in, like, I'm gonna guess. It could be any of the states in that time zone, but I'm gonna guess Kentucky. I think Kentucky's in that time zone. Okay, that's my guess. Kentucky. I'm probably way off. Of course I'm way off. There's like so many other possible time zones. I mean, possible states. We're going with Kentucky. Blaze, please fill us in. Oh my goodness. Kentucky isn't that time zone? 7:50, so we go. Oh, it's, oh, I was thinking it was 7:15 my time. It's 8:15 my time. So you're 2 time zones away. So you are in Colorado. You're in Colorado. That's where you are. Indonesia? Wait. It's 8:18 p.m. in Indonesia? Wow. So I'm just starting my day and you're ending your day. That's pretty cool. 4:18 p.m. SS Hunter, 4:18 p.m. So that would put you, you're 8 hours ahead of me, so you're somewhere in Europe. SS Hunter, I'm gonna put you, I don't know. I don't know enough about Europe. Turkey. Okay, see? I was doing the math because just the other day, somebody from the UK told me that they're 6 hours ahead of me. New Mexico, not Colorado. Very close, though. Yeah, see? I knew you were right around there. I would have been closer the first guess, but I looked at my watch and I read my watch wrong, and I was thinking it was 7:15, not 8:15. So I was thinking you were only 1 time zone over, which makes no sense because I started this at 7:35, but whatever. Turkey. That's pretty cool. My my uncle is from Morocco, and we haven't made any actual plans towards it, but we always talk about one day we're gonna go to Morocco together. He's gonna take me over there, and squirrels throwing acorns at me. We're gonna go to Morocco together. I'm so excited to do it. I really want to go over there. And he was saying that we'll visit. We won't just stay in Morocco. We're gonna visit like all the area surrounding countries. We're gonna go to Morocco and go to a couple of different specific places there, though. Like specifically, that's what we're going for. And I really want to go to the market. And he was telling me about several things. It's really cool. He's always just, he's taught me and still teaches me so much about his culture and his religion, and I just love learning about it. And it's just fun to learn these things. And I remember the first time that he took me, we went to Epcot together. Actually, he took myself and one of my cousins. he took both of us to Epcot, and we went to the Morocco Pavilion, and Epcot's really good about hiring people that are actually from the country that they're working in. So the people that worked there in the Moroccan pavilion were actually Moroccans, and from like legit from Morocco, and he knew a lot of them. I don't think he knew them from Morocco. I think he just knew them because his wife, my aunt, um, worked at Disney for many, many years, and I think he probably knew them through her, and like because they were Moroccan, she probably introduced them. But either way, we went, and they made like a special off the menu meal for us. Um, like we didn't even order. My uncle was like speaking to them, like in their native tongue, and I don't remember what it was called. I wish I could remember, but it was like a meat. Like the whole entree was just meat. Like there was nothing mixed in it. It was just like diced up beef. It was I want to say it was like shaved. I don't think it was ground beef. It was like shaved, but then it just had cinnamon, nutmeg, and like powdered sugar on top. And I was like, that's like authentic food. And he's like, yeah, not what they serve at Epcot. This is like what you will actually get, not authentic. This is authentic. And I ate it, and I was just like, it was just like such a weird mixture, but it worked so perfectly because you had the saltiness. Like the meat was literally seasoned like meat. They cooked it like you would regularly cook meat, but then they threw the cinnamon, nutmeg, powdered sugar on top. And so you had the combination of the salty meat, and I was like, this is what you eat over there. And he said, now this was like not a delicacy, but like a special occasion type dinner. You didn't sit down to this every single day. My dumb ass went home and didn't know how to do that, so I literally just ground up some ground beef from the store and then threw some powdered sugar on it and served it to my parents. And I was like, look, Moroccan food. They were very polite, and they choked through it and ate it and pretended like they liked it. But the real Moroccan food was amazing. XX Butter Gold. You're in Alabama. I love Alabama. I think it was called the Red Rock Mountains, but it might have been something else. The Red something. I'm pretty sure it was just the Red Rock Mountains. I rock climbed those when I was a teenager. Free climbed. So much fun. I want to go back. Um, yeah, I think it was just called the Red Rock Mountains. And so nice. Um, Shinoman, hi. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to Coffee with Crew9t. Freezing his butt off outside with Crew9t. Hey. I'm actually really surprised, but this coffee is still hot, which makes me very happy. My uncle's name is Saeed. I actually need to give him a call. He's my old running buddy as well. I can't go too great into the details, but he works, actually, I don't know if he still does. I know he still does government work, but he used to work for the Department of Defense, and then he was in the military for a while. He worked in several three-letter organizations, all of them, like the NSA, the FBI. He was in the DOD, the Department of Defense. He worked several of them. He did a lot of cool stuff. A lot of stuff we can't talk about, a lot of stuff we can talk about. When I started my military career, he was right behind me, like showing me everything I needed to know, and training with me when I lost my leg and it derailed my whole career. He was right there with me. We used to run together when I was a teenager. We would go, like, we would race each other. Like, I was 16, 17. He was early 40s, late 30s. Like, dude was in shape. Like, I was in shape as a teenager. I was in the Police Explorers. I was on the pistol team. I ran. I rock climbed. Like, I was a physically fit dude. So it's not like I was some out of shape fat Hufflepuff. Like, I was in shape. My uncle, who was like double my age, would keep up with me. Like, we would legit, like, we'd run a 5K and we would full-blown race each other, and it would be like hauling ass. Like, I used to run my 5Ks in under 20 minutes. I have a time of my best time was like 19 minutes and 40 something seconds. My uncle would be right behind me, and we used to race each other. Sometimes we would be literally neck and neck at the finish line. We used to run, there was a local park called Crane's Roost, and people like go jogging on it. Like we would legit run, and it's exactly 1 mile around. So we would run it 3 times, and then just a little bit past it. So that would be a 5K, 3.1 miles. And we would be hauling ass, like jumping over strollers and stuff. And yeah, haven't seen him in a while, but I know he still does work as a translator for the government, but I don't know if he's actually working for the government or if he's just like a private contractor. But really cool guy. What is the temperature for you? It is, well, when I walked outside, it was 42 degrees, which is actually why I was late with my live stream, because I walked outside, said, holy crap, turned around and went back in, put on a jacket, put on this instead of my regular hat, and changed out of shorts into sweatpants, because I was cold. But I don't know what it's warmed up to now, but it was 42 degrees 35 minutes ago. Mr. Two Guy. Hello, friends. Hello, Mr. Two Guy. No, he was, he is, I said he was, like, he's dead, he's not dead, but he is and was always very cool. He was my cool uncle. He gave me, for my 16th birthday, he gave me a knife. It was an actual, oh, here come my redneck neighbors. You can hear their truck all the way down the street. Greetings from Germany. Where are you from? I am from Orlando, Florida, even though I'm not dressed like I'm from Orlando, Florida. SS Hunter, so we're in the same boat. See, that was an involuntary sugar. Anyways, for my birthday, he gave me a knife, and it was actually from the Moroccan Revolution, or something, not the Revolution, but they had like a civil war, and the knife was used in the Civil War. He got it from a friend of a family member, or a family member of a friend, but it was like it had the belt and the knife itself, and it still had some, this sounds really morbid, but it still had some blood that was like dried and like rusted onto the blade. I actually still have this thing. I held on to it because, I mean, it was a pretty cool gift, but also he gave it to me and he didn't just say like, here's a bloody knife because you're a badass. Like, he gave it to me because he said like, this is important piece of history from where he's from, and he wanted me to have it because he knew I would appreciate, you know, he knew I would appreciate it. I was always that type of kid that was very into things like that. Like, I loved the history behind things. 41, can you translate to European temperature? It's like -1 here. Oh, yeah, 41 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's see. So 32 degrees Fahrenheit is 0 degrees Celsius. So 42 degrees Fahrenheit is probably like 6 degrees Celsius. I don't know off the top of my head. 5 oh, see, I guessed 6 and it's 5. I'm pretty good. That's right, I forget that the rest of the world is on Celsius while we just hang back in the Fahrenheit. Yeah, so it's 5 degrees Celsius, and it's 41 or 42 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm freezing. -1 is insane. The coldest I've ever been in was -13, maybe -14, but we'll say 13 just to not exaggerate. -13 degrees Fahrenheit. It was in Colorado. It was in Fort Carson, the military base out in Colorado. It was during the polar vortex or the winter vortex, whatever, Mika, something like that, in early 2014. It was like February 2014. You just look up polar vortex or winter vortex USA 2014. It was cold. It was so cold that when it warmed up to 20 something degrees, it actually felt warm. Like, I remember going outside and being like, oh my gosh, it's really warm. And it was like 20 degrees, but it's because we'd been in negative temperatures for like 4 or 5 days. So that 20 degrees legit was like 30 degrees warmer than it had been. So it felt warm. Why are Americans on Fahrenheit anyway? I have no idea. Why are we on miles and everyone else is on kilometers? We're weird like that. America. Yeah, I had a subscriber from, I want to say they were from, actually I think they were from the UK, but they were mentioning in one of my older videos I was hiking on the Griffin Thrasher Trail, and it was 32 degrees, and he was like, oh wow, it's 0 degrees here too. And I was like, oh no, it's not 0 degrees here. Oh, that would be too cold. It's 32 degrees. And he was like, yeah, 0 degrees. And I was like, okay, but I'm not 0 degrees. And my dad was just looking at me, and I'm like, what? And he's like, he's on Celsius. He's saying it's the same temperature for him as it is for you. And I was like, oh. Inches? Wait. That's right. So if we have miles and you have kilometers, what is the, yeah, so what is the equivalent? What is the equivalent for inches? We have miles to kilometers, millimeter? No. Well, this is going to show the American education. Um, Centimeters. See? I had the meters part right. Yeah, see, Florida normally is like high 80s, low 90s Fahrenheit. And in the summer, we'll get up to, well, actually, this summer we had one day that it was 99 degrees Fahrenheit, and then parts of Florida got to like over 100. But normally our temperatures in the winter don't get any lower than like the 40s. We don't normally, and that's only for a couple days. Like, I don't think that we get into the 30s very much at all. Um, let's see, centimeters. Well, I'm 6'3" tall, I think, and that's 191 centimeters. Meters are 100 centimeters. Yeah, see, I'm 5 feet 10 inches. I'm 5 feet 10 inches tall. So, I don't know what that converts to, but it's probably short on all continents. I never knew 5'10" was short. Yeah, 5 feet 10 inches. I never knew that 5 foot 10 inches was short. I always thought that I was not necessarily tall, but I just thought I was average. And then I found out that anything under 6 feet is considered short, at least here. Um, and then I realized I'm short. Oh man, oh man, oh man. I'm waiting for my garbage man to come. I had a telescope, big, like a big gigantic telescope. The base sat on the ground. The thing weighed like 150 pounds. The telescope itself, the tube, was 6 feet long. I'm 178 centimeters tall. That sounds better than 5'8". 5'10". Either way, the tube was like 8 feet long. This thing was gigantic, but one of the mirrors inside broke, and so it doesn't work anymore. Like, it's just all blurry, and you can't buy the part that we need. Like, the whole telescope is defunct now that that one part is broken. And so it's been sitting on the back porch for like a year, just literally taking up space. And so I finally decided to not be lazy anymore, and I dragged it down to the curb. But I knew there was no way the garbage man would throw this out because like it legitimately weighs like 150 pounds. So what I did was I got my tools out, and the tube, I cut it in half, because it's just like a really heavy duty cardboard. So I just sawed that in half and put each half of the tube into my garbage can, and then I undid the entire base. I took my bolt cutters and cut through some of the bolts, and then actually used my drill and undid some of the other bolts that actually would move. Some of the bolts were like rusted in, though. I had to cut through them. I took this whole thing apart, separated it into a bunch of like little pound piles, and I put one pile in my garbage can, and my neighbor let me put a little bit in his can, and my other neighbor didn't really let me. I just put it in his can, and we have like the truck that actually picks them up and dumps them, so it's not like anybody's gonna notice that they're heavier. I didn't want to break the truck though, like it says right on it, nothing bigger than 60 pounds. So I knew if I put the whole thing in my garbage can, it would probably like break the hydraulics on the truck, and then I'd be like sued or something. But I distributed it evenly. But I'm waiting for them to come because I want to just make 100% sure that this stupid telescope is finally gone. Like, I didn't even pay for the telescope. A friend of mine gave it to me, and it was beautiful while it worked, but I wish I could pay you a visit in real life, but it's near impossible for me right now. How are you doing lately, Crew9t? Well, I've had several people ask me to do a like a meet and greet, which would be fun, but I just don't feel like enough people would show up to be worth my time. And I don't mean that how it's gonna sound. I just mean I don't want to look stupid, like being at the mall or wherever I would go and have like one person show up, and then while it would be great to meet that one person, you know, I would show up looking to meet, you know, a good amount of people, and there'd be like one or two people, and I would just feel bad. I'd feel bad for them for showing up to such a small event. I'd feel bad for myself for only having a couple people show up. I've had so many people say that they would do a meet and greet, and they're all in Orlando or they're close to Orlando. They're only an hour and a half away. They would drive. If I did it at the mall at Millennia, which is a really big mall right in the middle of our tourist area, it's like 10 minutes from Disney, 10 minutes from SeaWorld. If I did it right there, they would all show up. I know that if I did it, like 5 people would show up, even though I've had like 100 people say they would. But of course, then I have people that are in other countries that would love to do one-on-ones. They always say if I'm in their country to let them know, and I have a list. I literally do. I have a list of people because I do travel, and if I'm in this country, I will tell this person if I'm in this country. And I had somebody tell me if I was ever in Georgia, look them up. I went to Georgia not to see them, but just because I was in Georgia, and I did message them. And while I wasn't able to meet up with them because their scheduling didn't work, they at least recommended me some places to go, and I actually ate at one of the local pizzerias, and it was really good, and I featured that pizza place in my video, and they had told the owners ahead of time I was coming, so the owner knew who I was, and they gave us a great discount. So yeah, I would love to meet people, but like you just said, their viewers are split among the globe. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. My viewers are everywhere. See, if I would come to Germany, let you know. So I absolutely would. SS Hunter, you have to go. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Have fun with your guests. To the person who said, "How are you doing lately?" Oh, that was you still, Mr. Two Guy. I'm doing good. Doing really good. I'm on vacation from work right now. I have today and tomorrow left, and then I gotta go back on Saturday. But I've had an entire week off almost, so try not to think about it though. Just today and tomorrow. I'm not gonna focus on that. Actually, the Saturday's not bad because I work overnight shift loading and unloading trucks. So Saturday when I go back to work, I go back at 1:30 in the morning, and so it's really like tomorrow night I go back to work. But either way, I get out of work at 10 in the morning, and then I actually have plans for Saturday. I'm really excited. My mom is actually going to meet me at my job, and then there's this place I used to go to as a kid called The Barn, and it's out like 30, no, not 30 minutes, it's like an hour and 30-minute drive, and it's open almost the entire year. They close for like a month in the summer, but at Christmas is when it really like comes alive. They have all this holiday stuff. They put trees up. It's like you're literally walking through a postcard, and it's really cool. The barn has like an antique store that's beautiful antiques, and I'm a sucker for antiques. I love stuff like that. I remember even being like 9 years old, being at this place and like spending $45 on this old, it was called the Boys Club of America. It was what the Boy Scouts were before they became the Boy Scouts, and it was a belt that they wore and it had the boys club logo and everything, and I bought it, and it was like really old and like brittle, but um I don't know, I made it better, and I'm trying to think, not refurbished, but I did it. I put leather softening oil on it and cleaned it up, polished up the buckle, um, completely redid this whole thing, made it good, and then I actually wore it for a little while, and then I put it up on a shelf and displayed it. But then they have like that antique section. They have like a little, it's called the patio, and it's a restaurant, but you can eat inside, but you also eat outside on the patio that overlooks a lake, actually partially overhangs it. And there's gators in the lake, which is kind of cool, but there's fish, and you can feed the fish. And you're on like this boardwalk kind of patio, like it's, so you can drop food down and it just falls into the water, and you can literally see the fish eating it. And then there's the section that has like all the knickknacks and everything, and at Christmas time it's just filled with Christmas stuff, ornaments, decorations. It's beautiful. And then there's like an outdoor section where they have like garden things, like lawn gnomes and whatever. Anyways, I get out of work at 10 in the morning, and then we're going there. It's called the Barn Antiques. It's in, I think, Mount Dora. I don't remember where it's at, but it's a drive. It's like an hour and a half drive, but it's really cool. So I feel like, even though, yes, I have to go back to work on Saturday, I feel like my vacation is still going, because I mean, I get out of work at 10 in the morning, and then I'm gonna spend the whole day still doing something fun. Um, how old are you, Crew? I'm 18. I am 28, and in May I will be 29. So I'm like still really pushing that I'm mid. I mean, I'm late mid, but I'm still mid 20s. At 29, there's no arguing. I am late 20s. And then in one more year, I'm 30. But I don't look it. So people still think I'm like 21 or 22. I actually just went to the gas station like 2 or 3 days ago, and I bought a pack of cigarettes, and it was like one of the first times I did not get ID'd, and the guy didn't ID me, and I was all excited, and I was like, oh, do I look old enough to buy cigarettes? And he's like, no, I just recognize you from last time, and I was like, damn. I know, 30, I'm an old fart. No, I don't smoke. My mother-in-law does. If I used to smoke when I was a teenager, but I quit. What's this say? I saw something, but it went away. Any tips for us teenagers? Yeah, absolutely. Any tips for you teenagers would be things that I would do differently myself if I could go back. First of all, be yourself. I remember as a teenager, I was constantly worried about what other people thought about me. I wanted to be cool, and so I did stupid stuff. Like, stupid stuff. Like, my friends and I, we had a lot of fun together, and we weren't like taking advantage of each other, but we would totally dare ourselves, like dare each other to do stupid things. And it wasn't like, being mean. It was just, we were all stupid. But the bottom line is, none of us wanted to say no, because we didn't want to be the wimp. I remember like daring one of our friends to run full speed into the stop sign. He like hit that thing and bounced off. Bottom line is, I got dared to do a belly flop off of a retaining wall onto the asphalt that was like a 6 foot drop below, and I did it, and I split my lip open. Still have a scar to this day. You can't see it because I have facial hair, but that was just, I would have totally been like, no, sorry, I'm not doing it. Could have broken my nose, busted up my face. But no, and other things, I mean, like, for real though, just like be yourself. Like, I was so concerned with like what people think. I really liked a certain t-shirt, but I wouldn't buy it because if I wore it, people might laugh at me. Or I really liked a certain band. Actually, this is a specific thing. This wasn't even a hypothetical. I liked the band The Killers, and they were kind of going out of popularity around the time that I started liking them. But I would literally turn my CD off when I pulled into my school parking lot, because I didn't want my friends to hear that. And if they got in the car, I would have a different CD queued up and ready to go because I didn't want them to know that's what I was listening to. Um, there was a lot of things like that. I mean, and the thing is, my friends were such, they were my friends. Like, they probably wouldn't have cared. They might have laughed and be like, "Oh, you listen to the Killers?" That would have been it. But you know, as a teenager, you're just concerned with, "Oh, what if they think I'm lame?" Um, Other things too is like just live your life. Like, I spent a lot of my teens. Like, this sounds so self-inflated to say, but I'm very much fearless. Like, I'm really not scared of anything. Like, I am scared of spiders in the sense that they freak me out. But in all reality, like, if there's a spider and like I need to kill it for some reason, like we had a wolf spider that was like jumping, like literally they jump around the house. Um, it was like jumping from and I didn't want it to attack me or my dog, so I killed it. The thing was big. It was like that big around. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. I had to look it up because I didn't even know the spiders could get that big. Apparently, wolf spiders are one of the bigger breeds of spiders we have here in Florida. And they jump, and they're highly aggressive. And if you walk near it, it will jump on you. And that's what this damn thing did. I didn't like it, but I mean, my point is, I'm relatively fearless now. I really am not scared. And it is strictly due to the fact that I lost my leg. And I died, and you know, I had a near-death experience. I'm here now. What is the point of being scared? That's what I'm getting at is, as a teenager, I wouldn't do things. I was terrified. I wouldn't ride roller coasters. I wouldn't I wouldn't do a lot of things. Like, I was active, I would rock climb, but like I would only climb to a certain height, or there would be like the big mountain that I really wanted to climb, but I was scared. And I'm not saying be an idiot and just think you're invincible, because everybody I mean, we're all gonna die, and you don't want to expedite that process. But what I am saying is there's no reason to be scared of things, because you could spend your whole life being safe and then end up almost dying at work one day. So you're scared to ride that roller coaster, not because you're legitimately scared of roller coasters, but because you're afraid, oh my gosh, what if it breaks and I die? When was the last time you ever actually heard of a roller coaster breaking? I mean, yes, people get injured on roller coasters, but it's such a small minority of like, it doesn't happen all the time. Like, you really have a better odds of getting in a car accident and dying on your way home from the theme park than you do of dying on the roller coaster. But I would avoid the roller coaster because I was scared I might die. Then I go to work one day and literally die. Like, my point being, don't be scared. Just live your life. If you want to do something, do it. It's gonna be worth it. It's gonna give you memories. I mean, since I lost my leg, I've done so many things that I used to be scared of, and it gave me a new outlook, and now I do them, and they're awesome. I rode my first roller coaster pretty much right after I lost my leg. Um, Now I love roller coasters. I'm going to go free diving, um, chum the water for sharks, and then I'm getting into the water and I'm going to swim with the sharks. And we go out into the deep ocean, and there was the option to do cage diving, but I don't want to be in a cage. I want to swim with the sharks. Um, Relatively soon, I'm going to go run with the bulls. I'm not interested in the part where they kill the bull at the end, but I do want to run with them, so I'm going to run with them. My goal is to run in between the horns. Um, it's where you literally run right in the center of the bull to where the horns are on either side of you. It's called running with the horns. I want to do that. I'm going to go climb Mount Vesuvius, which is, you know, everybody like Pompeii. I'm going to go climb the volcano that's still got active lava in it. And, I want to go climb it. I'm gonna do Mount Fuji very soon as well. That's not really scary, but still, it's accomplishment. Um, I'm gonna go skydiving really soon. Things that people are like, "Oh my gosh, you have a death wish." I'm just not afraid anymore. Like, so what if I die? I'd rather die swimming with sharks than die sitting on my butt at work. Like, if you're gonna die, you might as well die enjoying yourself. When did you have your first girlfriend? My first girlfriend was when I was 15. My first real girlfriend was when I was like 17. And then my first girlfriend that, like, I had the freedom, like, I actually had a car, money, etc. My first girlfriend that I could actually act like this is my girlfriend was probably around the time I was 19. Because even when I was 16, I had a car, but I didn't have a lot of money. So, like, we couldn't really, like, going out on dates was just going to each other's houses. But, when I was 19, I had money and a car. I could actually take my girlfriend out. We could go to SeaWorld. We could go to Disney. We could just go out for pizza, go to the movies. That was the first, like, girlfriend that I actually was able to do girlfriend things with. A big German YouTuber made a video about my accident. Really? I love when I find out that people made videos about my accidents because I love watching videos about myself, as conceited as that might sound. Um, there was a podcast, last podcast on the left or something like that, that they did a segment about me, and that was pretty cool. And several people, I've watched a lot of their different people's videos about me. Do you remember who the YouTuber was, what the video was? I'd love to check the video out. If you don't remember off the top of your head, you can go back and comment the link or the information on this video later, and I'll look it up then. But I'd love to know who it was and watch the video. It always cracks me up that people find me, or at the very least find my 911 call so interesting, because to me I'm just Johnny from Orlando. But, like, I'm not even joking. I've gone to the outlets and I've had somebody recognize me and be like, "You're that dude from YouTube." And I was like, "Close enough, yes. I mean, I am that dude from YouTube. You don't know my name, but that's pretty good." And he's like, "I do know your name. You're Crew9t." And I was like, "It's not 97, it's 9T." He was like, "Really?" Turned out he had seen me. He had actually just watched a bunch of my videos, but the T, he thought it was a 7 because the T is like that, and all he saw, but he knew who I was, and I was like, good enough, I'll take it. I'm Crew97. But no, honestly, in the amputee circle, that's where I'm known. I went to an amputee conference, and, like, for real, I'm not even joking, I had people, like, legit knew who I was. I was at the bar at the amputee conference, and people kept buying me drinks. Actually, I talk about this in one of my other videos in the Crew9t origin story. I was getting ready to change my name on here to something else, something more prosthetic related. I was going by Metal Leg a lot, and so I was going to make my YouTube say that. And anyways, I showed up at the conference, and I was going to spend that week thinking of different names, but I was probably going to go with Metal Leg. And all week long at the conference, people kept coming up to me and they're like, "Hey, you're Crew9t. Hey, what's up? You're Crew9t. Oh my gosh, are you Crew9t?" One guy didn't recognize me personally, but he was recommending that as a new amputee, I look up this guy on YouTube who was about the same age as me and was new to the amputee world as well. And I look him up because he had some good information. And I was really excited, and I was like, "Cool, what's his name?" Because I really wanted to look it up. And he's like, "Yeah, his name's Crew9t." Didn't even realize it was me he was talking to. And then, like I said, I'd go to the bar and I would have people buying me drinks, and the bartender would be like, "Yeah, they bought you a drink." And at first I thought it was because they thought I was hot. And then I found out it was because they recognized me and they were buying me drinks because I was that guy at Crew9t. And that was when I realized I can't change my name. People already know who I am. So even though it's such a small, well, I mean, there's a lot of amputees. It's not that small of a group of people, but comparatively, even though it's such a small group of people, it's still cool to be able to say that people, like, know who I am. Like, I never expected that, but it still blows my mind too. Like, I'm just Johnny from Orlando. But what did you say? I wish there was a way I could keep the comments on the screen. I'll look into that, but you won't understand. Oh, it's in German. Duh, I didn't even think about that. I have a question. How did the phone call become so popular? Did you agree that they would publish it? Total chaos. Finally, about time you showed up. Good morning. How did the call become so popular? I have no freaking clue. I keep looking behind me because I keep hearing noises, but it's like animals. It's animals, that's all it is. I'm just trying to figure out what the hell animal that is. It sounds like a woodpecker pecking on a tree, but it's way too loud. Either way, whatever. How did the call become so popular? And okay, so did you agree they would publish it? So the first question, how did the call become so popular? I have no freaking idea. I posted the 911 call just on a whim. I thought it would be a good idea to post the video. Um, Within like 2 or 3 weeks, it already had a couple thousand views, which this was back when my channel was still very young. I didn't have a lot of subscribers. Most of my videos had like 1,000 views, 2,000 views tops. I think my most popular video had like 15,000 views, and it had been up for like 2 or 3 years at that point. The call is epic. Thank you. So when that video had like in a week or two, it had like 5-10,000 views. It was a pretty big deal. By the end of the first couple months, the call had already gotten like 20,000 views, and an analytics report showed me that the majority of the views were coming from the YouTube search term 911 call, 911, emergency calls. Like, people were searching these specific things, and so I realized, okay, so they're not really interested in the amputee side of it. I mean, they're interested in the 911 call side of it, which didn't really matter to me, but I was like, that's why it's doing so well. Well, then somebody found it interesting enough to post it to Reddit, and once it got, oh no, first it went to Live Leak, and once it got posted to Live Leak, it got a lot of views, and people started coming to my channel and watching my other videos, and just to see if I lived or not. And then it got posted to Reddit, and I knew it got posted to Reddit because I woke up one morning and I had notifications set that I would get an email anytime someone left a comment, and I had like 300 emails, and I was like, what the hell? And I was half asleep, and I was scrolling, and people were commenting on my 911 call, and I started like where are all these views coming from? And then it's like some people were mentioning, like, dude, I saw this on Reddit. Oh, this was what I saw on Reddit. Oh, this is the call I found on Reddit. And I was like, what the hell? And so I clicked over to Reddit and started looking, and I found my call, and it was trending on Reddit, and that's when it started taking off. And then Daily Mail Online, which is the world's largest online newspaper, contacted me, asked if they could do a story about me. I gave them permission and to use some of my call, and then they also interviewed me, asked me questions, asked for some photos. So they made this whole article, and that linked people to my YouTube, and it just kind of took off. And I'm telling you, it keeps occasionally popping back up on Reddit or Live Leak. It was on like totalgore.com, it was on deathsomething.com. A couple different video games have used my call. Five Nights at Treasure Island uses my call as the background music for the menu. The call 911 operator uses my call as one of the calls in the game that you can respond to. A lot of paramedics have commented telling me that in their EMT training, they play my call to them as part of the training for, like, this is like something you might experience, which blows my mind. A lot of dispatchers have told me that when training to be a dispatcher for 911, they play my call as training as this is a dispatcher, this is what you might experience. So people, of course, hear my call in their training, and then they go to my channel. They go to YouTube to try to find the video, end up on my channel because they want to see if I made it. And I mean, the call just kept spiraling. It ended up being featured on so many different things, and everybody was so kind to give me credit and link it to my channel, so that it wasn't just stolen. Like, people were linked to me. And let's see, I have in early 2019, coming up in just a few months, Netflix is actually there's a show called Extraordinary Emergencies. I'm going to be in the pilot episode, and it's a 1-hour episode. They're doing it about me, my 911 call, where I'm at now, where I was before my accident. It's going to be in the USA. It's going to be on Oxygen channel. I don't know what channel it's going to be on, but it's going to be in the UK, Australia, and South Africa, and then it's going to be on Netflix. So, I mean, it's awesome. As far as giving people permission to use it, because it is on YouTube, technically anybody can just take it. They would have to give me credit, I guess, but they can just take it, which is why so many people have made videos using my call. But with that being said, so far almost everybody has been nice enough to link their video to my account, which is how I usually find out. Like, people will start showing up on my other videos, and they'll be like, hey, I saw your 911 call on last podcast on the left, or hey, da da da. So far, everybody's been nice enough to put my channel in their description box so that people know who I am. They don't just take the call. But I'm sure some people have, and that's why I don't even know it's out there. But let's see. I can't imagine how you could be so calm. You had to be in such pain and panic. I was in a lot of pain, but I was just blocking it out. So yeah. What's really funny is I'm currently in like suspension right now. I'm demonetized for this entire month, because see, I did an interview. It's called the interview is for a podcast. Univision is doing a podcast called In Our Words, and it's hosted by Amber Gutierrez. She's a very famous model. She's also a TV personality. But so Univision is doing this podcast hosted by Ambra, and they flew me out to do an interview for the podcast. They actually made me a preview video. Specifically, their producers literally made me a video to put on my channel that has some footage of me being interviewed, some sound clips from the interview itself. They put this whole thing together and gave it to me to put on my channel as a teaser, so that my subscribers would go to the podcast and would listen to the podcast. So I come on and I'm like, what's up guys, it's your boy Johnny, aka Crew9t. I did a podcast, blah 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 blah. Here's a little video showing you what the podcast will be about. If you like what you hear, click the link and it'll take you to the actual podcast so you can hear the entire 30-minute interview. YouTube decided that I stole content because I posted a clip of an In Our Words interview, which is owned by Univision. And when I appealed it and said I not only have the rights to use that video, but the video was literally made for me and given to me by them. So not only do I have the rights, it's literally my video. They literally made it for me to put on my channel. YouTube said, well, you also have stolen content from when you were on a radio from this video called Radio Show, which was where I was on a local radio station here in Orlando, talking about when they did hypnotherapy to treat my amputation, and I literally went under medical hypnosis to help with my healing, and I was on a local radio show, and they made me a promo video for my YouTube. And they literally made it for me and gave it to me to upload. So they said, well, that one's stolen too. And I said, again, it was made for me. Wrote both producers, had both producers send me an email with like a written, like an official note on their company letterhead signed that they sent to me. They scanned it in and sent it to me in email. And I then forwarded it to YouTube showing I literally have permission. Not only have permission, but these were made specifically for me. Both shows made these little promo videos for me. And YouTube was like, well, then we agree that you had permission to use it, but it's going to take 1 month to remonetize your channel. You have to go through the process of getting your monetization back. And I was like, why shouldn't it? It should just be instant. Like, I just proved I didn't do anything wrong. You arbitrarily turned my monetization off because you thought I was stealing content. They called it re-uploading. They thought I was re-uploading other people's work because I uploaded somebody else's podcast and somebody else's radio show. And I'm like, you arbitrarily demonetized me. I proved to you that I didn't do anything wrong. The money should be back on instantly, not 30 days. And they go, well, I'm sorry, that's how it works. So basically YouTube is saying they can demonetize you by mistake, incorrectly and inaccurately, and then even when you prove that you didn't do anything wrong, they can still make you wait the 30 days it takes to get reapproved for monetization. And I don't even know for sure if they'll remonetize me. They might deny me for whatever reason. Just to be safe, I went ahead and took both of those videos down anyways, just because I was like, well, screw it. If that's what's flagging me, I don't need the algorithms to pick these videos up again in the future and do this all over again. So I took both of those videos down. Point is, I would love to put up a promo for my Netflix episode, but I'm sure if I do, somehow, some way, YouTube will take me down again. So for this last like 3 weeks, I still got about a week left. I actually have made no money on YouTube. Normally I make around $500 a month on YouTube. This whole last couple weeks, this about a week to go, it'll be 4.5 weeks. That's a month. No money. Zero. And I didn't even do anything wrong. But let's see. YouTube has been really bad about stuff like that lately, which is awful because without their creators, nobody would be here. Yeah, I know, right? I don't know. One good thing is they did agree that because I was not in fault and I didn't do anything wrong, they agreed that I can continue monetizing videos that had already been monetized up to that point. So I just wouldn't be able to monetize anything new. And so I was like, well, I'll take it because at least it's something. But it hasn't happened anyways because I keep checking my analytics and even my existing content is still unmonetized. So they didn't even tell me the truth. Like they said, well, you have to reapply for monetization for all of your new content, but we'll at least allow you to be monetized for your current stuff. And it's all gone. I'm not making anything. The last check I got, my threshold is set. I don't get paid until I hit $500. Drake the Snake, bye. Thank you for coming. They sent me a check for $172 because they canceled my monetization. So they sent me the check because like you're not getting any more money, so there's no point in waiting for your threshold. Well, when they supposedly turned it back on for my existing content, I keep checking and I'm still at 0. And it's been at 0 for the last 3 weeks. So that sucks for YouTube. Well, it sucks for me, but it sucks by YouTube. But it's alright. I make these videos to make videos, not to make money. So it's fine. Merry Christmas, Drake the Snake. Yeah, that $5.5 million video was my money maker. Obviously, that video, the 911 call, makes me, according to my analytics, the 911 call makes me 40% of all of my revenue. Then the video that has the pathology photos, that is non-monetized due to the fact that it's I can't think of the exact term, but basically it's age restricted, so it's not monetized. But I still get paid for anybody that has YouTube Red. I get paid for people who watch my video through YouTube Red or YouTube Premium, whatever. So even though it's not monetized specifically, I still get paid for people who watch it if they're watching it through the premium service. So it still ultimately brings in money, although not as much as it should be bringing in if it wasn't age restricted. But it still brings in, even age restricted, it still brings in 20% of all my monetization. So those 2 videos alone bring in 60% of all my monetization, and then all my other videos equal out the other 40%. Total Chaos, thank you for being here today. And I've been seeing you a lot lately. I saw you on my Facebook, even though you didn't reply to my reply. But no, thank you for being here. And hopefully I'll see you soon on my other videos. The photos are heavy, man. I know. I'm the one that had to put that video together, and I was like, as I was making it, I couldn't even look. I was like, making the video, like, legit. No. Actually, the funny thing is that 911 call was setting off some severe PTSD. I didn't do it all in one sitting. I have never heard my 911 call all the way through. I can't. So to do that call, I actually broke the call into I think it was 5 segments, and then in no order in particular, I did each segment over the course of like a couple days, and then I would wait like a week, and then I would do the next segment over the course of a couple days. So I would write the transcript out and match it to the sound so that it was coming up on the screen properly. And then once I was done, it took me like probably about a month to put that whole thing together. I finally then put all the clips in proper order and uploaded it, but I couldn't just sit there and do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't hear my own call. I've heard bits and pieces of my call, but I've never listened to the whole thing all the way through. So that was hard. Putting together the video of my pictures was pretty rough. And you've watched that video, obviously, so I comment on all the pictures, and like I give a full commentary as we go through explaining what you're looking at. There was several times in that video that you can kind of hear me pausing while I'm talking, because I'm like kind of getting lost in my thoughts as I'm discussing what I'm looking at. And that video that was hard to make. I don't have a lot of PTSD, but when it comes to talking about my accident, that's where it really all is. Okay, I'm glad you said that, because I was supposed to say that and I forgot. So I've been getting so many, even though like nobody showed up to this live stream. I think my peak, I had like 14 people on here, which normally I have like 50, 60 people live. Today I had like my peak, I had 14, and the rest of the video it's been around like 5 or 6. But I've had so many people that keep requesting live videos. They want live videos. So I'm like, you know what? I like doing live videos. Y'all seem to like watching live videos. So I decided what I'm gonna do is every other week I'm gonna do a Q&A session, and then on the alternating weeks I'm gonna do Coffee with Crew9t. So every single week there will be a live video, but the Coffee with Crew9t will end up being every other week, and it will always be in the morning around 7:30 in the morning Eastern Standard Time. And then the Q&A video will be every other week, and it will always be at 7:30 at night Eastern Standard Time. So I'm gonna have a live video every week, alternating 1 week Coffee with Crew9t, 1 week question and answer. Even though technically Coffee with Crew9t is just essentially a question and answer session, but I like it. And so that's my idea. So that way I can put out a new live video every single week. BMX page 28. Well, I appreciate that. See, I'm trying to keep the channel fresh, not just for me, but for you guys, because you guys are nice enough to keep subscribing and to keep showing up to my videos. And I recognize names. People don't believe me, but I say in my 911 call, if you read the description, it says that I make it a point to, I really do read every single comment that I get. And I make it a point to reply to as many of them as possible. People like to test me. I will get comments from people literally saying, oh, you reply to every comment, we'll see about that. And I'll reply, and I'll be like, replied. I don't actually reply to every single comment at this point on my 911 call, because they come in so frequently. My 911 call gets like 200 comments a day. But every other video out there, I will reply to every single comment. That one is the one video I make an exception on, because as I feel most people are commenting on that video, they're commenting about my 911 call anyways. But they're not really commenting to talk to me, they're just commenting to comment. But everything else, most people are commenting specifically for me. My point though is, I really do read every single comment, and I recognize names. Yes, I don't know every single name on top of my head, but if you comment on more than one video, I recognize you. He's not on this live stream, but Relax Bro is somebody that I see all the time. A Booberry, Haley Loveday, H Love, which I believe it's the same person. I have XX Enderbot XX. There's Total Chaos, WM298. There's Fiora. There's so many of you guys that I see every video, every live stream. You're always here. People like that, I recognize you. I know you're here, and I appreciate you being here. BMX page, obviously you've been on my channel for a little while. If you're saying you didn't think it could get better, Mr. 2 guy, I don't think I've seen you before. If you've been here, you haven't commented very much. At this point, I will recognize you. If you ever are on another video, I'll know it's you. My point is, I I'm so appreciative that you guys are here. And so I'm like, you know what? I need to keep this channel fresh for you guys. So you guys keep asking for live videos. I wanted to make live videos, but so that it's not just like, I don't like the YouTubers, nothing against them, but the YouTubers who literally just go live for the sake of going live. And they're like literally just, they go live for 10 minutes, they're just talking, they don't respond to anything anybody says, they don't actually interact, and then they just turn off their live stream. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I want to go live to be with you guys, interact with you guys, and be a part of you as you're a part of me, you know, make this all one big event. And so I was like, how could I do that? How could I keep it fresh? So yeah, every morning, or one morning every other week, it'd be a coffee session. One evening every other week. On the alternating weeks will be a question answer session. And okay, see, I was pretty sure you did it. I knew you did it. It's the apartment tour. Welcome to my apartment. See, I thought I recognized you from the thing. Yes, see, I was just getting ready to say that. You were the one that said that you felt like a stalker. Because I remembered I just went through. I kind of fell behind on my comments as we got into the holidays. So I actually just like 2 days ago replied to like 2 weeks worth of comments. And then I noticed that they had pushed down some comments that had somehow ended up in my filtered folder. And you were one of the comments that were in there, which is, I will admit, one of the only reasons that I recognize your name off of having just seen you on one comment, but it's because I had to manually approve your comment to go through. So you could see it on the channel, but nobody else saw your comment until I just approved it. And I'm pretty sure I may have, yeah, I don't know if I saw you on the 911 call, because like I said, I get so many comments on there. But at this point though, I'll recognize you for sure. Cupcake Leader 5529. Cupcake Leader, you lead cupcakes? That's a pretty cool job. Hi, how are you? I'm doing great. I drank a whole cup of coffee. It's done now. That's making me sad. But I'm doing great. Not as cold, it's warmed up finally. I am watching, you guys can see that I'm looking at something over here. I'm watching my mailman. My mailman normally comes at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. It's like 8 something. What is it? Oh, it's 9 something. Wow, it's really almost, wow. That can't be right. Well, either way. He's already here though, and I'm watching him. I don't know what he's doing out so early. I would pan out so everybody could see out here, but it's garbage day, so I have my garbage can down by the mailbox, an empty box that I finally threw out. Crap, there's just crap out here. I don't want everybody to see it. Great time to stream for me. That's a cool mug. Thank you. This actually, there's a story behind this mug. I got this mug. No, I got a mug exactly like this from New York when I was a teenager, from the M&M world. I loved it. We had it for years. I had it in my cabinet, and I shut the door. This was like within the last couple years. I shut the cabinet door, and the cup was sitting like this, and the door smacked the handle. Didn't even know it until I opened up the cabinet like a couple hours later, and my handle had snapped off. Couldn't fix it. I super glued it. I did everything. It wouldn't fix anytime I put any weight on it. So I could hold the cup like this, but if I tried to hold it by the handle, it wouldn't work. One day, randomly, I'm at the M&M store in the Orlando mall. It's called the Florida Mall, and it's a mall right out in the middle of Orlando. And they had the exact same cup. And they don't have this cup all the time. They have cups like it, but they had the exact same one. So I bought it, even though it was ridiculously overpriced. But I bought it because I wanted my cup back. Let's see. 3:19 p.m. here. But stuck if you stream at night. because that's going to be really early. See, that's why I also want to alternate. Sometimes I'm going to do it in the morning, then the next week it'll be in the evening. That way I can alternate, because as it was said earlier, I have viewers all over the globe and I want everyone to have a chance. So the people who are sleeping for this section might be awake for the evening ones. The people who are sleeping for the evening ones might be awake, vice versa. John, Mr. Guy, are you from Germany? Also, I got 2 Germans on here right now. Most of your viewers European or North American, by the way. Okay, so my analytics show me my largest group of viewers comes from the United States of America. My second largest country is the well, it says the UK, but I mean, I see people from like all of Europe, honestly. I see people from Germany and a lot of people from Germany, and then I see a lot of people from Russia, but it just says the UK. The weird thing is I don't actually see that many comments from the UK, but whatever. It says that that's my second largest country. My third largest country then is back to North America. It's Canada, and then I go from Canada to Australia. So my top 4 are the United States, the UK, Canada, and Australia. After that, it then drops down, and then I do see it says like my next 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are Germany. I have a lot of people that watch me in Russia. I have a lot of viewers from, oh, it was a country that I never expected. Oh, it was like India. Yeah, I have a lot of people that watch me from India. I'm very popular in Egypt for some reason. But yeah, my top 3 are United States, UK, and Canada, and then my number 4 is Australia. And for whatever reason, YouTube breaks it down to top 4, and then the top 5 through 10 rather than the top 5, but whatever. So my top 4 are those 4 countries, and then which is pretty interesting because my show that's going to be on TV and on Netflix, well, it's going to be on TV in the United States, the UK, and Australia, and then also South Africa. But I have no idea what that says. Let's see. I want to show you my porch anyways, even though we're going to show you the porch in a way that you don't see all the crap. Let's see. So there's the poinsettias, and there's the wreath, and I Santa, and there's my flag, and that's where I was just sitting. And there's that, and this is my little front porch. There's all my lawn gnomes. So it's all set up, nice and neat. Oh yeah, and there's the wreath up on top too. And then of course I have like my Christmas stuff. They're not inflated right now. What languages do I speak? Here comes somebody. Somebody's walking their dog. What languages do I speak? I speak English. Hey. The dog sounds like it's dying. I speak English. I can understand some Spanish if it's said slow enough or if I'm reading it. And then I can speak a little bit of Italian, but it's horrible and the accent is horrible, so we're not even going to go there. I do have pets. I have a beagle and a pug. I also have an aquarium with several fish in it. I have a bird, which is a little sun conure, and then I have a cat. Whew. It's a little orange tabby cat. He's old. His name is Sam. but we call him Samantha, and even though he's a boy, I call him Samantha, and therefore ultimately refer to him as a girl. A lot of times I'll even refer to him as a her or she, because I call him Samantha so much I almost forget he's a boy. Poor cat. The kitty is currently sleeping in the bed because it was so cold. Normally the cat does not sleep in our bed, but I guess it was so cold that he decided to do it. I actually can't remember the last time the cat slept in the bed, but I woke up this morning and he was in the bed. How are you? I'm doing good. I was warm for a little bit and now I'm cold again. I don't understand what happened, but I'm watching that little dog go running. No habla español. It's like Sam from iCarly. Okay, I'm a almost 30-year-old man. I love iCarly. Everybody laughs at me, but I love iCarly. I'll watch it. I still watch it. I was just watching an episode the other day. They made a mini golf course in the living room. I was cracking up. I like all those old shows. That sounds bad. It makes me sound really old, but they're old. They're old to me. But I watch iCarly. I mean, I won't sit there and watch like episode after episode, but I will if I'm flipping through the channels and it's on, I'll watch an episode. Drake and Josh was the thing, man. That was my show when I was a kid. I loved Drake and Josh. Johnny, Johnnny, you spelt it right the first time. What are your favorite TV shows? Did you watch Lost? Okay, I watched The Walking Dead. I haven't watched it in a while, actually. The last episode I actually saw was when they made it to Terminus, which was years ago. But I used to watch it all the time. I actually don't watch a lot of TV anymore. I watch like old shows, like I love The King of Queens and Seinfeld, Friends. That's about it. I don't really watch a lot of. Oh, I like Impractical Jokers. I love that show. That's a new show, newer. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. I used to watch The Walking Dead like religiously, but then I started this job where I go into work at 1:30 in the morning, so I go to bed at like 8 o'clock at night, and so I started missing all my shows. And I used to watch American Horror Story too every night. Well, not every night, but every Wednesday night, and miss it because I'd have to go to bed. I used to watch Sons of Anarchy every night. Started missing it because I had to go to bed. And yeah, I could just catch it later on reruns or something, but by the time I get home, most people are just starting their day because I get off work at 10 in the morning, so then I'm just out doing stuff instead of sitting at home watching TV, and then I could watch it on Netflix, but I don't watch a lot of stuff on Netflix because if I have time, I'm usually out doing stuff, so like my TV watching time went away. No, to be honest, I've gotten into anime a couple times, or I've tried to get into anime a couple times. I've never really gotten into it. I have some friends that are really hardcore into anime. One of my friends, Ron, loves anime. And I mean, it's cool. I get it. I get what's cool about it, but it's not for me. Um, I wish I could remember. I can't remember what anime it was, but he showed me some old school anime from like the early 90s, and it was interesting, but I don't think I could sit and watch like episode after episode of it. Like he pulls up anime on Netflix at break when we're at work together, and he'll be sitting there and watching it for like the entire break. And sometimes I'll kind of look over his shoulder and watch some of it, but I don't know. It's kind of cool, but not my thing. See, Death Note. That's actually one of the only anime that I really know. Like I think that's probably the one that everybody knows. But yeah, that's one that I have watched. That one was pretty cool. If I ever was gonna really get into it, I could see that being like something. But I remember when Death Note was like really popular and it was going around the school. Like kids were like doing that. M2 guy, it was good to see you. So, like I said, I'm gonna try to do a live video every other week. So if you can't make it to the late ones because it'll be super early for you, I'll see you at the coffee sessions. If you can't make it to the coffee sessions, I'll see you on my regular videos, which I'm still going to be doing. I haven't filmed an like actual regular video in a little while, but I'm gonna be shooting some regular ones too. But I'll see you, I'm sure, and I'll recognize your name now. So it was good having you here, though. Enjoy that lunch. Oh, I never plugged my YouTube. I mean, my Facebook. I have that blue sign. Some of you might recognize. But Facebook.com/Johnny Crew9t for you guys. Make sure you go follow my YouTube. I mean, why do I keep saying YouTube? Follow my Facebook. Follow me on Facebook. I'm posting a video in a couple minutes, actually. When I end this, I'm gonna post my Throwback Thursday video. It's anybody that was here for the live video or saw it after it was uploaded from my 50-mile bike ride. The video is called 45-mile bike ride, but we actually did 49.8 miles. While I live streamed two parts of that bike ride. I had a lot of people join me for that. That was actually pretty fun. It was the first live stream I did. I have some footage of that bike ride that I've never shared, and it's going to be put on my Facebook, Facebook.com/Johnny Crew9t. And that little clip, this is like a little 12-second clip, but it's going to be up on my Facebook later today. What's really fun is like we'll talk about something on the live feed here on YouTube, and then I'll put it up on my Facebook later on that day or the next day, and people will like it, and they'll be like, oh, hey, cool. And then people who didn't see the live video will be like, what the hell is that? Like we were talking about a pancake that I have in a frame on my wall, and like, yes, it's a real pancake, and it's in a frame on my wall. And people are like, oh, we want to see it, we want to see it. And so I don't want to go inside, but I'll post the picture of it to my Facebook tomorrow. I posted the picture. Half the people that saw it were like, what the hell is this? The other half that saw it after watching my live feed the night before, and they knew exactly what it was. And you could tell who knew what it was and who didn't know what it was based on the reactions I was getting on the picture. Are you into games? I'm into the obvious ones everybody knows about. You know, obviously Fortnite, of course, but I'm into Halo. I play that a little bit. I play a lot of Modern Warfare, and I don't know. I haven't really been playing as much as I used to. I undid my system because I only had one port on my TV, so I plugged the DVD player into it, and then I finally got a new TV that has multiple ports, and I never plugged it back in, but I need to. But yeah, Call of Duty, man, that's the bomb right there. Modern Warfare was the best. Black Ops is pretty cool, but Modern Warfare is my favorite. I'm trying to remember if it was Modern Warfare or Modern Warfare 2 that I liked. I can't remember. Well, I liked all of them, but which one was like my favorite? But Black Ops was awesome. I liked the maps for Black Ops, but the campaign for Modern Warfare, the best. But then Halo, of course, and then all that. Like I said, I haven't played in a while, but I used to. I used to play a lot. BMX Page, thank you for following my Facebook. I don't know. It really depends on the mood. If I'm really, like, if I just want to, like, shoot some friends, I'll get on Black Ops 2. If I really just want to play the campaign, it's Modern Warfare. Soap and Roach. I can't remember all of their names, but which one? Okay, which game was it? Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare? Which one was it that had Nuketown? I can't remember which one had Nuketown. And which one had the golf course? That one was a fun map as well. I feel like those were the same map. I mean, the same game. I don't know. My favorite part of the whole thing is to play the zombies. Black Ops had Nuketown. Okay, see, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Black Ops had Nuketown. Black Ops, yeah, it wasn't Modern Warfare, so it was Black Ops and Black Ops 2. And then the golf course, I'm pretty sure, was Modern Warfare then. I don't remember. I just remember I used to sit inside the little like building, and you could look out and see the sand trap. And I used to camp right there. Yeah, Black Ops 2 has the best zombies. That's the one I always play for zombies. Although I always end up on the team that dies really prematurely. Yeah, Modern Warfare 2. That's the one that has the cool golf course map, and that's the one that has the campaign that I really like. What's fun is when you do the two-player campaign. I don't remember. I don't think that was Modern Warfare that had that set up. I don't remember. One of them you could do a two-player campaign. Maybe all of them you could, but I just know one of them I specifically did two-player campaign with my dad, and that was fun. And then we got bored and went to, the live or and actually shooting each other and blowing each other up. I had a Nintendo when I was a kid, and I liked it, but when I was probably like 11, maybe, no, I was a little younger than that. I was probably like 10, 9 or 10. I got a PS1. And then when I was a little older, I got the PS2, and then we upgraded to the Xbox, and kind of just got away from Nintendo. Um, Man, this is gonna really date me, but when I was a kid, like young kid, like talking like 5 or 6, I actually had a Sega Genesis. It wasn't brand new. It was a little old at the time, but it wasn't that old, which shows how old I am. Sega Genesis. Used to play Sonic the Hedgehog on that thing. I know, right? For real. I had the Sega Genesis. I had this was back before you had cell phones. Like a few people that I knew had pagers, but nobody had cell phones yet. You'd come home from school and you'd watch Nickelodeon, and it was the old school Nickelodeon with the orange splat. They had the games. Like the Nickelodeon used to be filmed right here in Orlando at Universal Studios. I used to go to Universal and you could watch them film some of the Nickelodeon shows live, and I was actually in the audience on several shows. Um, Man, those were the days. I had an original Game Boy, the Game Boy Color. I had one of those. I remember this. I was 8 years old when Game Boy Color came out, and I had the awesome the part that like hooked into it and then hung over with the light so that you could see the screen, because the screen itself didn't light up. It wasn't backlit. So if you wanted to play at night, you had to have the light that actually like hooked into it, and it had like the little case with the lanyard that it sat in, and the spare backup battery and the games. What games did I have? I had Shrek. I had the Shrek game, so you could play Shrek. I had Pokemon. I had oh man, I'm trying to think of all the games I had. I used to love. I'd take the cartridge out. What was that Pokemon game that you could put a wire between your Game Boy and somebody else's Game Boy, and you could like trade Pokemon and battle your Pokemon? I had that. You want to know what's really funny? Is I just sold my Game Boy not that long ago. There was a Davies Toys right up the road from me. They buy and sell and trade older toys, and I didn't sell my Game Boy, actually. I traded it. I traded my Game Boy for a bunch of other cool stuff because I don't play it anymore. I looked on eBay to see how much it was worth, thinking it's probably worth a lot because it was original. They're selling on eBay for like $20-$30. I even took it to several stores and went in and had them price, like, what would you give me for this? Everybody said the same thing, like $30, $40. Nobody was giving, like, I thought this was going to be worth a lot of money. It's an original Game Boy with some games. I look down and there's like 30 of them. People are just selling them, and they're selling them for like $20. Like the really good ones were selling them for $50. And I was like, oh wow. So I knew it wasn't worth a lot at that point. So I went ahead and went to Davies, which does trades, and I traded it for some other stuff instead. But I still have a Furby. I don't know if y'all remember Furby. That's really gonna show how old I am. I had a Furby when Furby was brand new. Oh man. Stupid Furby never shut the hell up either. It would just start talking in the middle of the night. I actually feel bad. This is, I wanted a Furby. I really wanted a Furby. And so I begged my parents for a Furby. And they were expensive. I don't know if y'all remember that, but they were not cheap. My parents bought me one. And they didn't buy me like the crappy Furby. There was like one Furby that nobody wanted, and it was like the cheapest one. They didn't buy me that one, but they also didn't buy me like the top one that everybody wanted. They got me like one of the medium ones, which is fine. I was just happy to have a Furby. Yeah, well, I loved that Furby. I took it with me everywhere, and it was freaking awesome. And a couple of my friends had Furbies, and you put them together, and they would like talk to each other. I had that thing for like 2 or 3 months, and then one day I was playing, and the damn thing would not shut up. It just kept talking, and it got me really mad. So I like backhanded it, and I thought I broke it because like it suddenly wouldn't work anymore. Turns out I had just knocked the batteries loose, but I thought I broke it. And so like 8 years old, probably, yeah, like 8 or 9 years old, I like like kept my hand strong, like I hit that thing. It went flying across the room. It wouldn't work anymore. Nothing I did would make it work. And I wasn't scared that my parents were going to be mad at me. I felt terrible that I just broke the toy that I had begged my parents to buy me. So I put it in my closet. I hid it. Not because I was afraid my parents would get mad at me, but because I felt like crap. I had begged my parents for this expensive toy, and then in a moment of anger, I broke it. So I put it I put it in my closet. It was like years later. We're talking, I'm like 15 years old. I found it, took it down, opened it up, took the batteries out, put new batteries in, realized that all that had happened was the batteries had gotten knocked loose. The thing worked perfectly. Well, at 15, I had no interest in my Furby anymore, but I felt bad that like I had begged my parents for this toy, played with it for 2 or 3 months, and then broke it. And by the time I realized it wasn't even broken, I was too old to really be interested in playing with it anymore. And so I felt bad because like I felt like I'd wasted my parents' money. So in order to make up for it, as a 15-year-old, I went ahead and I played with my Furby for like several months. Like I put it in my backpack and took it to school. And I was that cut up in school that like I had all the friends and we were all just a bunch of jokesters. So like everybody thought it was funny. So like they played with it with me. Like it wasn't like, oh, look at that weirdo who has a Furby. It was like, oh my god, you have a Furby. And so we played with it and brought it to lunch with us and stuff. I brought it on a field trip with me. I think I took it to SeaWorld, but I took it around with me and I played with it for like 5 or 6 months. That way I got my money out of it. Well, my parents' money. I got their money out of it. And then I finally retired it back to the closet. And I still have it now. It's actually in a box in my attic. But, yeah. The damn thing wouldn't shut the hell up, though. I don't remember what I was trying to do, but I was trying to play something, and it just kept talking. And I was like, shut up! And that's when I knew I was going to be a horrible dad. No, I'm just kidding. Stacy Wolf. See, I have heard so many stories like that. Stacy L. Wolf. Let me get it right. No, I've heard so many stories like that. People say that they're Furbies. I don't even know. No, mine never did anything weird. I've had like I remember when I was younger, it would turn on randomly in the middle of the night, but they had like sensors that were supposed to make them do that if they heard noise. So like I never thought anything of it, but it would like start talking in the middle of the night, and I'd put it in my drawer and shut the drawer so I wouldn't hear it. but like that was it. It never like did anything weird. But I had friends that would swear it said their name and stuff, and I don't know. There's that whole thing that we're like, Furbies are possessed. Furbies have demons in them. I don't know, but I've heard a lot of people say that stuff, like their Furbies say different names or whatever. Somebody was saying, I just read this on Facebook just a couple days ago. Somebody was saying that their Furby would like talk, like they'd come into the room and it would just say like hi, and they would be like hi Furby, and that they started realizing though that the Furby wasn't supposed to say that word, and they like had looked up the different things that Furby can say. And it would be like hello, and they were like, they didn't think anything of it because it wasn't saying anything weird, it was just saying hi or hello or whatever. But then they realized that was not something that Furby was supposed to be able to say, so they took the batteries out and put it in the closet. I don't know, mine never did anything like that. Mine wasn't cool enough to kill me in my sleep. Kill it with fire. Alright guys, you're still alive. Alright, well, my coffee is empty. It's been empty for about 30 minutes now. I swear it's getting colder, not warmer, as the sun is coming up. I don't understand what is going on, but I'm literally freezing. So I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping up this coffee with Crew9t. I want to thank everybody that's here with me live for being a part of the show. For those of you watching this after it's been uploaded, thank you for clicking on my video. I will be doing live videos every week. Every other week in the morning is going to be a coffee with Crew9t, and the alternating weeks every other week in the evening is going to be a question and answer session. BMX page, I'm glad you enjoyed it. And thank you for following me on YouTube as well. I'm on there pretty much daily, whereas I'm on here only a couple times a week. I will continue making my pre-recorded videos as well. I've taken a little bit of a break from that, but I actually have several that are already filmed. I just need to upload them. I'm going to upload them with a schedule upload, so they'll get posted spread out. They don't just all go up at the same time, but look forward to that. There will be some new videos coming up soon too. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for being a part of my channel. Like I always say, you guys make this a channel. If it wasn't for you, it would just be a bunch of videos on the internet. So thank you guys for bringing this random montage of videos that I put out all together into one big channel. So until next time, I'm gonna give anybody a last chance to post. Avery DWBH737, glad you could catch it too. So alright guys, so until next time, it's your boy Johnny. BMX page, have a good day. You too. It's your boy Johnny, aka Crew9t, and I'm gonna end it.